This video is about the story of building a renegade DIY skate spot that was recently demolished. Before I get into the sad part of this video though, let's get into how this all started back in November 2024. So I've been looking at this Jersey barrier for the past couple of months, and I want to add some concrete onto it and make it a little quarter pipe. It's downhill. It's a pretty cool location too. Like, there are some neighbors. We're in a residential area, and there's some business nearby, but I figured I'd kind of bring these forms over here that I built in my backyard recently with some scrap wood. I don't know if they're going to fit onto this barrier, so today it's kind of like see if they actually fit, if this is going to work here. I'll show you the spot that I'm potentially thinking about adding some concrete onto, kind of sussing it out. I'm going to be building like where people can see me, and the nice part about it is it actually has this little gap. So in between the sidewalk and the Jersey barrier itself, there's like a little patch, and I think that's going to be really good because it's a place for our concrete to sit on too. It won't chip up as much if we just can kind of start our transitions right at that little patch. So I can actually kind of use the side of this Jersey barrier to set the bottom up right here with to where I want it to meet. It's not that much transition we're really adding on there. So basically I need to go and cut this little area out. By no means do you have to even do wood forms like I'm doing for this Jersey barrier. You could just slap some concrete right on there and start troweling it. Really simple, actually. It's like one of the first things I ever built was a DIY Jersey barrier. But basically what we're doing is using the form that we traced out to cut with the jigsaw. Nice little handy jigsaw to get the job done. And then after that, I'm taking the cut form and tracing it out with a Sharpie onto our second piece. So we have our left and right pieces of our form essentially. Now that we have our forms, we can go grab some concrete. One of the first DIY builds I ever did, it's like over 10 years ago. It was a Jersey barrier and it's still there today. So yeah, let's go, let's grab some material and head back to the spot. All right, I just did a quick drop off of all our supplies, got it under there. I'll try to do this within like 2 to 3 hours at the most. I don't want to be here too long. There's already been a few people just walking by while I got my stuff dropped off. So yeah, let's get these forms into place. Just make sure they actually fit first. Want it to start in the dirt, yeah. Clear out some of the ground actually first. This is just a little excess piece of wood I got from the hardware store when I was there. That'll be the width. I kind of want to bring it up. So I might put some rocks on here because it's not flush with the wall back here. Just help me get these forms a little higher. Rather just blend to the ground and have that nice, yeah, transition on the wall. There we go. So yeah, kind of pre-nailed these things in there. I'm gonna mix and just pour right in, and then I'll try to shimmy. I mean, I'm hoping these forms stay up. If they don't stay up, hopefully they allow me just to at least get the concrete into a place. There we go. Quick little survey view. Basically, I just add a little filler back there. As you can see, I'm gonna add the concrete where the forms are. So now it's time to start mixing. I want to move everything into place so I can just dump the concrete right on. But I also don't want to disrupt this path right here because people do walk and ride right here. Some of this quick read bag is actually a bag that I've had sitting inside my house waiting for a job. And it's a little clumped up. So it's gonna be our bottom mix. Not too worried about this being like the perfect mix because there's just filler gonna be in the back. All right, now let's start mixing a better kind of nice wet patch. These red bags are the fast setting bags. They work a little quicker. 50 pounders. Don't breathe in the dust. Little hole. Mixing on a hill is hard. Gonna use some of our bonding adhesive. Just kind of makes everything stick to each other a little bit better. Got a good amount of water in there right now. Nice sticky texture. Just slurp it back on there. Keep mixing. Because this stuff is so fast setting, I don't want to waste too much time trying to shape it right away. Rather get it all on there and then start shaping it. try not to mix a whole bag at once because it's a little harder sometimes, but these fast setting, I kind of have to. One wheel, that's cool, man. Get this bag on there. Might kind of do a little shimmy. All right, got one more bag. Hopefully it's enough. I'm gonna try to be a little more deliberate instead of just putting it on there now. Kind of fill the areas that I see need concrete. Now I'm kind of do a little freestyle screet. I'm not gonna shimmy it as much, so I'm gonna kind of just use this as a guide to shape it. Then I'll just trowel it. Yeah, definitely gonna need more concrete, but I'm gonna do a little trowel. The reason I was being so quiet while I was just putting this some cement all down is because one of the neighbors came out and started the car like right next to me where I'm working. A little sketched out. I figured like in these situations, you're probably better off just like continuing working than like stopping. So I feel like that's like more suspicious if I were to see him and just be like, well, I'm not gonna do it anymore. So I got the high vis vest on. You never know. Maybe he didn't question me, maybe he did. Now I'm gonna put the cement on there and just try to trowel the bottom to the top. Just get the whole thing. Hope I have enough water. I'm gonna start at the bottom and just kind of bring everything up. And I'm gonna use my aluminum trowel, my pull trowel, the last trowel I normally ever use because this stuff is so fine. But like I said, I kind of rather it be extra runny than too stiff, because I can keep working it. Definitely too liquidy. Gonna add some more cement ball. Gonna keep some water on this so it doesn't dry too fast if you keep working it. Try that again. Yeah. So, got another batch of cemental on there, or mixed in my bucket here. Just put my gloves back on. Cemental's kind of gnarly to work with. Learning lesson. You gotta work so fast, and the mix ratio is just so much more different than I'm used to. Gotta keep it kind of wet, so it dries so fast. But honestly, this is looking pretty good now. I was kind of panicking there for a second, and I leave that in these edits because I want people to realize I don't know what I'm doing half the time. The whole point of these videos is just to get people out there and try. Just like skating, you know? I shouldn't go out there expecting what to do every time. Every time I make these videos, like, definitely expecting people to tell me what to do right, and I learn a lot. Just enough cemental for just enough water, I believe. I also do want to pull these forms in a second, just to kind of make sure everything looks good underneath. See if I can fix some of this crack. I might as well, since I have a little bit of cemental, kind of just get it right into place. Obviously I can just Bondo this. Kind of sponge it. As you can probably see by now, this like stuff's getting dry pretty fast, so I'm gonna hit this bottom seam. I do want to pull these forms before I leave though. Looks like the Pulsar Man's rolling up. So I'm gonna pull these forms, and hopefully it's not a huge deal, because I don't want to crack later. Yeah, easy.
The nice part about the forms barely being in there. Whew, all right, clean all my tools up. I just left my like one metal trowel out here, a little bit of water. I'm gonna do one more kind of just final coat, but then just leave it. I might sit for like 20-30 minutes, just make sure it's like not too much to be messed with. Like someone could definitely still come and like hit it with a hammer and like mess it up. So I try to wait as long as I can. The ideal would be like to do little pivots, rock and rolls. Like it looks fun. If this sticks and nobody has a problem with it, we could definitely do like another little landing strip so we can do a little channel type of thing. It's already pretty hard to touch. Like no indentation. There was only like 4 or 5 people that walked through this path. Fortunately, I do got to go do other things, so we'll come back and get a little skate session on it, but I'm pretty optimistic with like how mellow the foot traffic has been that it'll be okay. There is a business nearby, but it is the weekend, so I think by the time Monday comes, it will be nice and hard. So it's been 2 days since we poured the concrete. It's like this super nervous slash exciting slash like mystery feeling coming back to the spot, not knowing if it's still going to be there, if it's cracked or anything like that. Everything looks good. The unfortunate part is the very top, which I kind of did expect, is already, you can kind of see like it's very thin over here. Like if I just press that, it's probably going to chip off. I think instead of trying to skate it and then lacquering everything up, I think today is going to be another maintenance day. As much as I do just want to skate it right now, I think it will just hold up better if I actually Bondo that top little area. Before I start mixing our Bondo, I'm actually going to fill these little hole areas with rock so I can do a quick pass of Bondo. If I'm going to get the Bondo out, I might as well. There's a lot more foot traffic today over here. Try to get my camouflage on. I feel like it's better off breaking some of it than it breaking. A little more, about a half of the Bondo bucket left. Gotta get one more clean stripe across the whole thing, just so we don't get caught up there. Yeah, basically that'll seal our edge a little bit better, less likely to get messed up. And then I sealed these top little holes. There's a couple little knots up there, so I am gonna rub brick it ever so slightly and spray it and then leave, come back maybe tomorrow afternoon and get a session so that everything can just settle. So small little rub brick then lacquer, just so I don't have to do it when I come to skate. It'd be nice just to have like a clean slate. Last little step before I leave, take off, come back tomorrow or the next day. I'll do one little spray coat, and then all we'll need to do is wax, if even that, because it's downhill. I think this thing's gonna slide and grind pretty good, especially after the rub brick. Nice part about the spray is it doesn't have the little ball clicker, like when you're shaking, it's not as obvious that it's a spray. All right, we're back. The Bondo's dried. I did get some lacquer on there. Lacquer seems dry. Today's just like a test run. Probably the first trick is rock fakie, I guess. Maybe eventually it might be worth like adding some concrete to the ground right here. That was a horrible first attempt. Do I just get on and then try to hop off right away? Nice. I mean, I feel like if the sign wasn't there, it would definitely cause a lot less attention. Sign's a lot of noise. All right. Woo, it skates. I'm hyped. Super juice. Got a little session.
Show them your mark.
Yeah, we actually skated. It's got skate marks. Look at it. Actually skated. Actually skated. I mean, it grinds pretty good. It doesn't seem like it's gonna grind. Then you get on there, it goes really, really fast. But overall, I'm hyped on it. Definitely want to like get a little bit of concrete down there on the bottom. Maybe add some transition, like right where that sign is. Round 2 pickup day. Today, I'm actually gonna get these 90-pound bags. Normally, I get the 60-pound because they're easier to move. But the 90 pounds, you do get a little more concrete, and they're a little bit cheaper. I was gonna grab some Cemental, like we did last time, but I think I'm just gonna do mortar because it's cheaper, might not be as strong, but it should do the job. Nice part about the spot is you can just pull up and drop off. Oh, that's such a relief compared to the DIY series skate park that I was building at. That's why I got the 90-pound bags, because I didn't have to really carry them, just dropped them off right on the curb. So I'm just gonna dig up some of the areas that we're gonna build our little entrance ramp on. I'm not gonna use the form for this, so I'll show you the differences, the nuances, the good and the bad of it. Unfortunately, I forgot my high-vis jacket vest at home. I always feel safer with that on. Dirt, I'm not too worried about. I just wanna get all the leaf or the loose stuff out of here. Gonna use some of this rock and stuff to fill just this little back area, because then I can use less water and concrete. Just want a little more room for air. Rolling in, you know exactly where you're going. Rolling out, you don't always know. So then you can see you got the rocks, got this little dugout area. Stuff is pretty simple now that we prepped it. Kind of got some of that leaf out of the way, got some rock filler in there. We know where the entrance is going to be. Well, the entrance is done. We know where the exit ramp is going to be. While the exit ramp is kind of curing, I'm troweling it, keeping an eye on it. I can hit the road with a mortar, essentially. I'm going to use the mortar for that rough ground. We'll see if that works. I've never done that before, so it's going to be a little bit of a trial and error. I'm a little scared, but I think worst case scenario, it busts out, and then I'll just have to use something else. Being on the hill is probably the most challenging part of the spot. So I'm actually gonna try to find like a somewhat flatter surface right here. A little concerned that I don't have enough water, but might just have to pick up more, worst case scenario. Because the stuff's not that fast hitting concrete, I have a lot more time to work with it. So I'm not as rushed to get through it. One bag down on my floor. Got like half a bag still in there. Need to add some more. A little over one bag right there. I'm gonna get this bottom area solidified before the transition. How's it going?
What are you doing?
What's that?
What are you doing?
I was doing a little ramp right here. Probably get it to other
I'm fine with
buildings.
your ramps. I don't care.
Right, no, I appreciate the
I
feedback.
live right here, but
okay.
but just don't
It's
be
good to
surprised.
know,
Just
yeah.
don't be surprised if the police come and give you a hard time.
Dang.
I mean,
They-
I'm not going to turn you in, but I mean,
Yeah,
the campus police, so
they might be kind of bummed, yeah.
they get kind of agitated about stuff.
Dang.
So, but don't
I
worry
guess we'll,
about it.
we'll see, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe if I clean it up more over here or something, they'll,
Well, you
who
actually did a really
knows.
good job.
And I was trying to I wanted to paint this all white again and keep it, you know, to its normal environment and not make it look like an eyesore or anything like
They
that.
just,
Well, thanks for the heads up. I appreciate it. Yeah, have a good day. It's funny because I saw him earlier. Got the base thing on there. All right, we've run out of water. Security has been rolling around. There's some security right nearby. I didn't know this was their property, but apparently this is their property. I'm a little sketched out, but it's kind of one of those things at this point. It's like, it's worth getting the ticket and just making it how we want it. Basically a little bit of a waiting game right now while we pick up the water. I'm a little sketched out, but yeah, if we get a ticket, it is what it is. I think it'll be worth it in the long run. There's a little bit of kink here I'm gonna try to get rid of with our mortar. I might as well, while I was grabbing that water, I'm gonna use some of my drinking water to mix a little pass. Before I do that though, I'm gonna throw some concrete bonding adhesive on here and in the mortar. Need a really small batch. Drinking water going into the project. More in the middle than anything. That's what we're writing up. Try not to trowel this too much either. That's really it. Use the sponge. Best. There she blows. Got the exit ramp, buttered up this little entrance ramp, then we got our little road patch. It's a little scary with these security guards. All the neighbors are really cool, so now I'm just gonna leave it, come back in probably like 2 days, get a little skate session. I definitely need to paint this barrier white and then the ground black so everything just blends in and hopefully it stays around. After leaving the spot last night, my buddy Eric went to check on it, see how it was doing, and someone threw a rock into it. So there's like a little hole. So I just went to AutoZone right now, got some Bondo to fill that hole really quick. Well, shoot, that's a little sketchy. I'm gonna do this Bondo job really quick. I actually don't even think I'm gonna film it. It's just not worth it, unfortunately. Just trust me that I'm gonna do the Bondo job and get out of here because I don't want to be here that long. Obviously, there's a sign there now. I'm a little sketched out, so I'm just gonna get in and out of here really quick. So I actually didn't get a chance to do the Bondo. There was some enforcement officer basically coming up as I was getting the Bondo out, and I was like, all right, it's just not worth it. I left. It's been a few days. It's been the holiday, so I haven't had a chance to go back. I'm heading back now. Hopefully the barrier is still there. It's gonna be such a bummer if it's gone, but that's also just like part of the process sometimes. You never know if they're gonna stick. That's DIY, so hopefully it's there. We get a small little Bondo job, and then we get a little skate session. At the minimum, I would love to skate at least one time. Doesn't seem like it's gonna last, but we'll see shortly. Pretty obvious. They don't want you here. Oh man. Show you the roll up too. I forgot to show you that last time I was here. Look at this thing. Looks pretty good. Mortar, they did a good job, whoever did this. I like it. Pretty solid. So it's been a few months since we built this spot and we stopped skating it. And now, yeah, it's done. It's gone. Somebody sent me a photo recently showing me it, and I figure it's a good time to kind of make this video and show the process and show everything because I don't know, the damage is done. The spot is gone. I'm gonna walk away from it for a little bit and just talk about it because it's kind of, I don't know, I feel sketched out over there. I think it all really boils down to the community. The local area just was not having it right here. Crazy part is this is a school campus right behind me, and the barrier that, I don't know if you can see where I'm pointing at yet. So the barrier is actually on technically the college campus,
but the sidewalk is city property. And I just went over there and I saw there's actually a sign that says that that's city property on the back of the metal sign over there. So that's the crazy part. Like, you can skate on the sidewalk, you just can't skate the Jersey barrier. So I think that's what became the whole problem as far as technicality goes. Of course, you're not, supposed to build illegal renegade skate spots, but sometimes certain neighborhoods, certain places, they adapt it. Burnside, Channel Street. There's so many different examples of this all over the world, but this was just not that case. And it wasn't like I was trying to build a whole skate park here. It's just a skate spot. I think the other factor to consider is just like the neighbors. I didn't know this, but after I built the second transition, when the guy came over, kind of told me about the college campus and the property line is basically the Jersey Barrier. He also let me know that this is a 50-plus-year-old HOA type of area, which I had no idea about. So I think the combination of the technicality of it not being on city property, so it wasn't the city's job to do it, because normally they'll just leave it. They don't care. They'll leave unless like a super citizen comes and complains about it. So the fact that it was a college campus property, I think that was one problem. Second problem was just that it is a elderly community. I don't call it elderly. 50 is not super old, but whatever. I think like it's a retirement community with a lot of academics over here. And I don't know like if the person that came over that was acting really cool while I was building was actually the person calling the campus security, because like I said, it became a hot spot. Like eventually I made a whole video, so I won't go into it, about like why I took it down, because there was certain campus security coming over here asking people if they knew anything about the person that built it, et cetera, et cetera. And maybe this video will still expose me. I don't know, but it's always a learning lesson, and that's kind of like the objective of my channel ultimately, is like to get people out there, go do renegade DIY. Sometimes that means breaking the law, but like at the same time, like there's crazy laws out there. I'm not going to go into a whole political spiel right now, but basically like just because something is legal doesn't mean that it's bad, or vice versa. Something is legal doesn't mean that it isn't bad. Like sometimes you got to question the law. So I think in these situations, like I'm trying to make a good space for the community, get skaters out of the skate park, just activated. Ultimately, who knows, like there could be some local kid over here that got into skating because someone showed up here with a skateboard and got them out of different situations. Like, I don't know. I just think it's much more complicated than people like to see it. They're like, hey, go to the skate park if you want to skate. That's just not reality. And in my opinion, that's kind of like just a very narrow-minded way of thinking. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. Got the build process back out there into the real. I do have one other spot I do want to check today that also got taken out. Is the DIY kicker ramp. I built that probably a couple of videos back at this point, maybe a month ago. And that recently got taken out too. So I think at this point, with like these last two DIY builds getting taken out, and they're kind of like at a very low key dead end roads, both of them still got taken out. So yeah, I think I'm going to be building back in the ditch pretty soon. I thought it was going to be flooding, but I went to check it on yesterday. I made a whole DIY series out of ditch. Everything's still there, like multiple years later. So hope you guys enjoyed this video, this little story time. If you have any questions, leave them down in the comments. Please subscribe if you'd like to see more DIY builds. And ultimately, it's always a learning lesson. So I don't regret doing it. Had a good time with the homies skating it. It is unfortunate with the time and money you put into things that they just get destroyed just simply because people don't like skateboarding, but it's the way it goes. Keep on, keep it on. Match.